What's up, guys? How's your week going? What's up, Julia? What's up, Gear? Offshore Miner, how's it going? Barb, what's up, man? John Foster Crypto, Seymour Liddy. What's up, Aries? Ryan Smith, what's going on? Bull Runner, good to see you, man. Async, what's up, bro? Oh, no worries, Gear. Thanks for being here. Quick Smoker, what's up? Keen Bean, how's it going? Dependable Print, what's up? Kelly, what's up? Long time no see. How you doing? JB, how's it going? Cameras, what's up? How you feeling on the 8 hour for Bitcoin? I mean, we can get into it, but not much has changed. Downtrends. Week low. Well, I mean, the week low is still, I mean, Coinbase chart week low is here. What's up, Ricky? How you doing, brother? Hunter X, long time no see, bro. How you doing? Oz, what's up, man? Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's great to see you here. All right. All right, let's talk about it. So this morning, we had market open here. I was a little interested in the bullish break here on the 15-minute, but I was getting interested around the golden pocket here, and the problem for me was on our journey down to thank you, caught me early this time. I'm really bad at that. Yo, get robbed. I always appreciate your nice comments, man. It's good to see you. Yeah, so this morning I was a little interested in the bullish break here, um, on the 15 minute here, but the problem is like I was going to be interested at the golden pocket here. However, on our journey down there, we actually set up for this short, right? So we had our 15-minute bullish break here, and then we set a new low, and then we swept this high. We put in two green candles before sweeping this high, giving us like a bearish SFP here on the 15-minute. And then when we came back down, we broke structure back bearish, so this bullish structure didn't even make it to the golden pocket. And then we retested supply and down we go. So this was kind of your short for the morning here, if you're wondering. And we had the liquidity target of the week low here. We've now hit that week low. What did we do after we set the low here? So we come up, set up a bearish break of structure. We get our bearish break of structure. We come down, we sweep the week low. We also sweep the higher time frame week low. Then we come back up, we retest supply, and we reject off of it. So yeah, so the trade was really the short on the pullback, or even just on the break here of that 15-minute structure. It's kind of the same pattern that we've been kind of seeing, right? Is kind of similar to what I always talk about when we're in a 4-hour uptrend, right? Whenever we're in a 4-hour uptrend and we're trading it, I always talk about how whenever you get a bearish break of structure, right, all that really does is set up for whenever you're going to get that next bull break for a new long to come back up to the highs, right? So what do we do here? We flip this upside down, and you get the same idea in a downtrend, right? You should be less excited about taking longs in the downtrend. You should be more excited about those bullish breaks that then set up for those bearish breaks. And that's kind of what's been happening lately here. I'm having a little bit of trouble sticking to bias. Like I really, as I've told you guys over and over again, I really don't like this range. I don't like this range. I don't like all this internal structure. Like it's so much easier for me to keep a bias here, keep a bias here, keep a bias here. Like this range this crash really messed with my trading system. So if you guys are killing it right now, awesome. I'm doing my journaling and doing my reflecting, and it's I mean the trades are super obvious. I've been trying to long this even though we're under 4 hours bearish structure, and I teach you guys all the time to trade with the 4 hours. So I just need to follow that. But like it's the same thing as like right here, right? Like we got excited about this 5-minute break here, and what did that do? That just set up for the bearish break, and then where's the real trade? The real trade is the short on the bearish break back down to take out the low, right? And it's the exact same thing that happens here. You get your bullish break, sets up for the bearish break that comes down and takes out your low, right? So really, until at least 1 hour breaks, and I've even said this tons of times on here, that there's really no point in taking longs. You should be getting excited about these bullish breaks, like this 30-minute bullish break here that sets up for this bearish break, SFP breakdown, right? So we should really be taking these shorts, and if you have been taking these shorts, you've probably been very successful, and yeah, probably been having a great time. So with that in mind, right, we have to understand that yes, we have done some bullish things here, right? So we have swept the previous week's low, right? Previous week's low was here at like 106.238, but this weekly doesn't look all that bullish, right? I mean, we're now, keep in mind there's still, you know, the whole week ahead of us, but this would be a break of structure on the weekly on Bitcoin if we don't close above 107.212. This would be a bad sign for Bitcoin. This would be something that could probably lead to like our capitulation crash that we're looking for. Now, it's still very early, right? But a prepared trader is a profitable trader, so just a very important level to have marked on your chart, which is this like 107.200 level. So we'll keep an eye on that like later in the week as that starts to develop a little bit. But if we're looking at local structure here, like all right, all this stuff is kind of played out. Maybe it's time to get a new chart here. This feels a little clustered to me. I want to keep this. I can redo this pool. Um, yeah, let's get rid of everything. Okay, I can see again. All right, let's grab our. Okay. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. 1 hour. So, what we have to understand is since we never broke this high here on the 1 hour, right? Our 1 hour structure hasn't really changed that much, right? So, we broke the week low, and now our 1 hour high is still way up here, right? So, this would be the level that we need to break to flip 1 hour structure bullish. Now, even to break something like the 15-minute bullish, you have to come, let's see, break structure parachute. Yeah, you have to come like up here. So we haven't even done that. It looks like we test. So really what we did was we retested this area of supply. And then we dumped down out of that, right? So it's very important to understand bias. Like, yes, we've swept the previous week's low. We can mark that again here. What's up, Bearded? Good to see you, brother. So we have to understand right now the daily is bearish, the 4 hour is bearish, and the 1 hour is bearish. So if you're even thinking about longing and you're trying to like front run the 4 hour break or whatever, you at least, I talk about this all the time in downtrends, you at least want to see 30-minute 1 hour to break if you're going for some sort of counter trend rally, right? In order for the 1 hour to break, you have to come way up here. So yes, you can take scalps. Like there was a nice, let's get this out of here. There was a nice like 3-minute scalp you could have taken, but even still, like the risk to reward up to like here wasn't that great. It didn't really get me excited, right? So with the stop loss down here. So yeah, you could have taken the 3-minute break here, but if we're looking at it, I mean, even on 5-minute, we don't even have 5-minute structure here. So really you're trading a 3-minute bullish break with all of those bias time frames in a downtrend, right? So it's very counter trend. Could you be bottom catching? Sure. What's most likely to happen? Well, we're going to come for the week low, right? All of this changes, right? If we come up and break 1 hour, you know, then maybe we can start talking about flipping the point of control, coming up to the value area high, and flipping that 116 level. That's still the line in the sand. That's still where we're looking at to flip bullish. If that doesn't happen, I would very, very much like to see a sweep of this low. On the Coinbase chart, this is a external low, so I'd love to see that swept. Does that mean we'll get it? No. There are some like kind of interesting things happening at this low. Like there's this internal 6-hour SFP. If we switch over to hiking candles, we're getting multiple SFPs on like the 4 hour. Generally, when you see something like this, it can lead to a bullish recovery. So there is some stuff that says, you know, maybe we got to come up and then come down, right? Or something like that. Like a lot of times you'll see hiking SFPs at lows before we get some sort of bounce out. So definitely something to keep in mind. That we could get some sort of recovery here. Also, generally when we sweep the previous week's low, if we're not able to close below it, we can get like sort of a run of the previous week's value area, but we'll see. I'm not convinced yet. I think there's still a lot more work to do. You need my otter so you can make a meme. Yeah, I'll what is it gonna be? It looks like shit. At this rate, Bitcoin is on its way to be a shitcoin. And Bitcoin's not a shitcoin, right? Like, I mean, even if we, what are we down, right? Perspective-wise, 20% dump on Bitcoin. And altcoins are down like 80, 90%, 60%, right? It's not even close. Plus, I mean, Bitcoin's really just ranging, right? It's just we're at the lows of the range right now. All right, value very low, waiting for some sort of structure break back in, go up. But it's definitely, it's an ugly 4-hour range, I can tell you that. Especially if you're looking on the Bybit chart, because we have the high here and the low here. All we really did was come up to our golden pocket and come back down. Something to keep in mind, if you're looking at the Bybit chart, all we've done is reject from the golden pocket, right? So, keep in mind. I just, I want to get back to where we have like nice external structure. I was looking at the gold. Well, let's finish the TA here. So yeah. So unless we can come above 111, 135, we should expect to run these lows around 103. There is a lot of support down here, like this 103 level. So we'll see if we can get some sort of structure here. I prefer like 1 hour. I would really love 4 hour. I don't know if we'll get that though. If we come down here, but that would be kind of the dream, would be to come down here, pull this, break 4-hour structure, and then get a run back up, or just get a capitulation, right? Something like that. We'll see. We break back into the value area, start breaking at least 15-minute structure. Really, like you need to come above 108, 165, and then make a run to the 109s. Got a lot of supply up here at 109. We'll see if we can make it past that, but. First, you got to come above 108, 144. Got a spider line there. Previous value area low. A lot of resistance here, so it's gonna be a little difficult. Yeah, offshore. It's digesting the dump, and it's just boring sideways, like melt up, melt down, price action, and really like this. The real trade was what we planned the entire way up, and that's kind of what's frustrating, is the entire way up we were talking about getting this SFP, breaking 1 hour structure, and then shorting it down, and we got all that, and for some reason I got freaking bullish here when I shouldn't have, and I've kind of beaten myself up a little bit about that. But yeah, that was the real trade as we had planned out, but that's okay. We'll be out of this range soon enough, or we'll at least break some structure soon enough, or come snag the lows. So that's kind of the levels I see on Bitcoin here. To me, it looks like a break of 107,700 would be an hourly change of structure. How is that? Yeah, you're right, offshore. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it just sucks, man, because like I've had a great track record of like nailing the macro moves, like when the trend changes, getting the shorts and getting the longs, and I messed this one up, so I'm like, yeah, of course there's more trades, right? But pressure makes diamonds, Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, the 1 hour structure. So yeah, this is 1 hour structure, but it's internal structure. The reason it's internal structure is because we didn't pull this low yet, right? So the high was up here on the 1 hour. That's why we were talking about breaking 111,700, right? And then we come down and we aren't able to break that high. So all of this structure in here is internal to these two spots, right? This is your strong high. This is your weak low. So when we come down here, yes, we set an internal high, but we haven't broken our strong low yet. So this is still internal structure. And then we pull the weak low. Then we pull the weak low here. What high got us to here? This high. This is now your strong high, and this is your weak low. So yes, this is an internal 1 hour structure break, but it doesn't actually flip the external structure until it comes up here. Does that make sense, bro? Yeah, I can look at some weird time frames sometimes. Uh, doesn't matter. Of course, of course. Yeah, so even though this is an internal structure break, the 108 320 is internal. Oh, you were talking about. Oh, you were talking about here. Hold on. Luna, come here. Sit. Sit. Down. No working. Yeah, this is definitely an internal structure break, right? Not even up here, because the weak lows here, we didn't break any sort of highs. So this is internal structure. Like, yes, it's a structure break. And some people trade internal structure breaks, but in terms of like trend analysis, I like to look at external structure. But you do have a 15-minute external structure break up here, like 108. So, and we can get above the spider line, break back into this value area, and then we can talk about getting a rotation. Here first, though, you gotta break this first. So maybe if this is gonna give us some sort of like rotation of last week's range, maybe we can come up here, and then maybe tomorrow for market open we can get our golden pocket retrace, and then we can come back up to the point of control and see if we can flip this 1 hour. We'll have some trouble getting through 109, but that's still like a pretty nice risk to reward up to 109. But the real trade, of course, would be if we come up to 109, we set up the trade, we get a 15-minute bear flip, and then we come back down to sweep the low. All right. We'll see. Is the bull market open? Over? Well, great question. I will answer that question the same way that I've been answering it since we had that big drop, right? So there's a couple things that we're looking at that are bearish, right? So if we're looking at total here, this is pretty bearish. So this is, you set a high on the weekly, you set a low on the weekly, you sweep that high, SFP, and you close below the low on the weekly. So you also lose your momentum on the way up. So you have a weekly break of structure on total, and we get a little retest of supply here, and we're coming back down. We have a weak low here. Yeah, this is pretty bearish, right? There's also some pretty bearish things on Bitcoin itself. So if we're looking at the daily time frame here, so we had our distribution here, we had our break of structure here, we had the 1, 2, 3 hits to the high here, right? You break structure here, you sweep the high, you distribute down, bearish consolidation on the lower half of this drop, and then generally you would expect this to roll over. All right, now does that have to happen? No. So what are we looking at in terms of invalidating this kind of thing? Well, there's two kind of things that we're looking at. If you want to flip back bullish, the first thing that you have to do is you have to close. Oh, you could put it here, although technically it's here now. But when we were back here, right, you have to close some daily candles above 116. On the Coinbase chart, that would be a daily break of structure and a 4-hour break of structure. So you got to come above 116. If this happens, I would be inclined to say that we're going to make a new all-time high. So if you want to know, is the bull market over? Well, it's certainly in a bearish trend until we break 116. You break 116, no, I don't think it's over. I think there's a higher chance we come test these highs. Like structure would say that we would at least come back to 125. Now, what could possibly change that? So this week could actually possibly change that. So one of the things that was keeping us bullish on the weekly chart here is that we have not broken structure on Bitcoin the same way that we did on total, right? So I'm gonna clean it up again. I'm gonna get these spider lines out of here. Okay. Okay, so on Bitcoin we had the weekly SFP. But we also had some bullish SFPs. All right, so another thing that was kind of keeping us bullish was that we haven't lost our weekly structure, right? So our weekly is still in an uptrend until we close a weekly candle below 107,200. Now, we are looking like we're below it now here, but there's still a lot of time left in the week. This is a little concerning, right? So we did have a SFP break of structure on the 5-day time frame. So that's pretty bearish. But it's not the weekly, right? So we do still have a weekly here. So what I would answer that question with is it's if we lose the weekly on 107,200, then it's looking much more likely that yes, it is over. If we can hold this, then it's still up in the air, and if we close above 116, then yeah, we can run to new all-time highs. But this is, if you want the answer to your question, it's pretty much going to be found here. The only thing that's holding me back from saying that the market's over is there is a pretty bullish setup on the Bitcoin to gold pair. So if you go on the weekly here, people have been talking about, right, like that gold's going to rotate back into Bitcoin. Well, we are seeing a little bit of evidence of that, right? So we had this SFP here on the Bitcoin to gold pair. We had this weekly trend line momentum being retested, right? Pretty much the cycle momentum being retested. It gets SFP'd and holds the low. We also got some pretty bullish things here. So we got a 4-hour break of structure. However, after that, this was actually another indication to short up here. I just wasn't looking at this at the time, right? We had talked back here about getting a close over here on the 1 hour. What happens? You get that close, you push up. Now we have broken structure on like I believe 12-hour time frame. So this is pretty bullish, right? You get an SFP. We talk about this all the time. You don't enter on the SFP, you enter on the break of structure. So we got the 12-hour break of structure on the Bitcoin to gold pair. Today we actually came down to this little daily order block here. This is something I was looking at. Another reason that we could be a little bullish at these lows. We came down to this daily order block. We got a nice bounce out of it. I have a little alert set here for this 15-minute break of structure on the gold pair. If we get this, I think Bitcoin will get a little bit of a move up. This is, what retail would call like a head and shoulders, right? Right. But yeah, this is kind of the thing that's keeping me from saying it's over. This pair is extremely good at macro. It's called tops, bottoms. I mean, the top back here was just an SFP, right? So order blocks, things like that. The low of the cycle was on previous demand, right? So it's a really good macro chart, and it's flashing some pretty bullish things. So this is keeping, and the fact that the weekly hasn't broke structure, I really like this. I really like this SFP, the weekly, break structure, pull back to your decision demand, hit your daily order block. We'll see what happens. I know that was a mouthful, but I wanted to answer your question in the most accurate way. So if you're still following all of that, drop a 1 in the chat or let me know I answered your question. I'm gonna drink some water. Awesome. Nah, there's a little bit of a delay. Sure. Um, what exactly is a JPOW pattern? Great question. Yeah, you can answer that. Right, so we coined this pattern that we like to use, the JPOW pattern, right? Because it prints money, just like JPOW here, And basically, all that the pattern is this would be an example of like a bullish one. It'd be an SFP, and then you break structure the other direction. So this would be like a wick down here. So SFP, break of structure. And it's my favorite pattern to trade for risk to reward purposes. It generally creates a really good risk to reward because generally you're coming down aggressively. You set a low, you set a high, bulls defend that low, and then you break structure and you get a really nice stop loss, you get a really nice entry, and you get a 3-to-1 target, and you hit the target and you print money and you're happy, just like everyone when JPOW runs the money printer. But yeah, all it is a SFP, break of structure. There's plenty of examples of these. People who have been in the community for a while know this. We love this pattern. We can go over some great examples of it. So like at the top on Solana here. Right, so on the daily at the top here, we had our bullish SFP, so this would be like, or bearish SFP. So this would be an example of like a top side JPOW, right? So you get your SFP, and then you get your break of structure. What does that do? It creates a really nice risk to reward entry. Get into the trend, stop loss above the high, targeting like a 618 retrace, right? It just makes it really easy to see risk to reward. It also gives a really good indication of a change in direction of the trend. This would be an example of like a bearish one. If we look at we had a little JPOW here, SFP break of structure here before running to the new all-time high. If we go to the 4-hour, we had a really nice JPOW at this low here, right? SF, and the whole community caught this one. It was great. SFP break of structure. What does that do? It starts the run, right? Starts the run. Also, when we go to the all-time high here, what do we get at the all-time high? We get a JPOW pattern at the highs. If you recognize this pattern, it will make you so much money. Because this, like, what did we get at the lows of this run-up, right? We got a JPOW pattern. What did we get at the highs of this run-up? We got a JPOW pattern. Right? So you want to catch the bottom, you want to short the top. It's great pattern for that. But we just gave it a cool name because I don't want to be on stream all the time saying, hey guys, we got an SFP break of structure. That's no fun, right? We want to talk about printing money and making a bunch of money. There's way too much fear for me to take a stab at exactly as I want. It came just under 450, then back to 500. Let's take a look at that. Would you look at that? Yeah. Man. Front ran just a little bit. That's kind of lame. Did do that on Binance? Oh, that's why. Would you look at that? There you go. That's kind of what we were planning, right? Touch supply, come up. Now what happens after the pump? But yeah, there you go. Sucks that it's a little different on Bybit, but yeah, it's the same. It's the same idea, same trade. Market structure concepts, demand, buyers, take the price back up. Where you take the price up to, unmitigated supply. Tap unmitigated supply, battle. Battle between bulls and bears. So yes and no. So it is a double. It's obviously is a double top pattern, right? So I would say all JPALs are a double top pattern or a double top bottom pattern, but not all double tops are JPALs, right? So if like this happens and your strong low is like down here and you don't sweep the high, this is internal structure. This is not a JPAL, and treating this like a JPAL will get you wrecked. So the second high has to come take the previous high. Otherwise, this is internal structure, and it's going to come back to, let's say there's a demand block here. It's going to do this, and then you're going to get wrecked. So there's a little bit of nuance there, but yes, it is like a double top pattern. Cool. What was the other coins that? What was that other coin we were looking at that was also bullish that we did some TA on? Man, what? Oof, 13% move out of that. Let's go. Should have traded this. I think I said that already because this is under daily bullish structure, right? Yeah. Daily bullish structure, 4-hour bullish structure. Did we flip any structure out of that is the question. Ah. Oh, we did. Okay. Yeah, we flipped this. Nice. I don't like this reaction, though. I mean, is it all mitigated on the way down? It is all mitigated. Yeah, so this is all liquidity here. Yeah, we could see reversal back up here. Just waiting on a breaker. Okay, so you'd have to get like real creative. Yeah, you'd have to get like 3-minute. Come above here. Oh, that's internal to that. I mean, yeah, this doesn't look too exciting to me. I liked the long here way better. But yeah, this is all liquidity. We could see come back up. But yeah, the real play that excited me was down here. Dash went crazy. Yeah, but there was something else. Was it? It wasn't render, was it? What was it? No, render looks like shit. There was another coin that was running that we'd be looking at the past couple days. I don't remember. That's okay. Ah, yeah. I think it's virtual. Was that it? Yeah. Virtual comes down to the decision block. Doesn't get as good of a reaction out of it. Oh, those dirty dogs, they swept it. They swept it. Now what have they done? Oh, that's not bad. They gave you a little J-Pow right here. And it's sitting on the J-Pow right now. Virtual, it's under bullish 4 hour, right? Yeah. But the 1 hour... 1 hour. See, look at this stuff, guys. I mean, I think we talked about this yesterday, right? Like the 1 hour flips bearish and you immediately sell off right to where demand is, right? And the reason for that is besides like this small, like I think we were zoomed in here, but there's not really much support in here until you get to buyers here. So you lose your structure and down you go. I think we said the same thing yesterday. But the problem is Bitcoin. Like if Bitcoin breaks 15-minute, I think you could have a nice trade here on virtual. If this is what Bitcoin looked like, it would be awesome, right? So what do you have here at the lows? You have an SFP, break of structure, right? Your 15-minute now aligns with your 4 hour, which aligns with your daily, right? So the idea here would be you're taking a trade here, targeting the daily week high. It's like a 3.6 to 1. I do like, I mean, structurally this trade makes sense. I don't really like to trade shitcoins, but if I was gonna trade a shitcoin, this is kind of how I would trade it. We grabbed liquidity here. This low could be sufficient. Could we sweep it one more time? Yeah, it's a shitcoin. You can do whatever. But this is, if this was a setup and Bitcoin had daily bullish and bullish 4 hour, then yeah, I would like this setup. I think at least if you're looking to get like a spot entry into virtuals with like into this 4 hour trend, I think you're doing just fine here. Yeah. What this is like this is a balloon dog, right? This is a very long nosed balloon dog. That's a terrible dog. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can look at the coins that you guys want to look at here. ICP, is it gonna be one of those coins that's not doing shit? Okay. All right. All right, so this looks like a little earlier version of the two coins that we had looked at that already broke. So what is important for this coin to do? It's to break here. It's important for ICP to break here. That would break your daily structure, which would allow you to use smaller time frames to get in. So you break your internal structure here, you retest, you're trying to go. The problem is you're gonna hit your head here. If you're looking for like a short here on virtuals or on ICP, this would be a great place to take when you have a daily high here. Now, when do you flip your bias? You flip your bias if you break 4.7. If you want to front run it a little bit, you do have your 4 hour at 4.6. That's at least what you need to break. Now, resistance is gonna be here. This is gonna be your supply. So just expect that we may SFP this and come down. But yeah, if you can get some closes, like a 4 hour close up here, and then leads to a daily close up here, ICP is back in an uptrend on the daily. So it's looking good. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of resistance here. There's a lot of resistance here. Yeah, it's almost there. It's just got to complete the job. You got to get back up here. You do that. Yeah, I mean $6. Maybe break back higher. We'll see. Don't do that. Reject off this supply, and you're coming back down. Aster? Yeah, isn't that the coin CZ was tweeting about? That's a Binance coin, right? Is there more history for this thing? No. Have order block support here. It's so new, man. It's so hard to do TA on these coins. It's underneath its lifetime VWAP. Yeah, I mean, I would be more excited about this if you could get above $1.40. 4 hour. Man, look at this nonsense, man. So that so you break your 4 hour structure bullish, and then they just immediately come sweep your strong low. Shit coins, man. Like, it just immediately comes and sweeps the strong low. I mean, if you're really bullish on CZ and you just trust him and want to buy this coin, then yeah, fine. But I mean, you did have an SFP here. I wouldn't touch this yet. There's not enough history on this. You had a bullish break, but now you've had an SFP. You've done the JPOW in the opposite direction. Yeah, I mean, if you start getting closes below 85 cents, I mean, you're probably coming here. We'll see. Come back up and break this, and you got some bullish momentum coming. Let's see. Yeah, they sold you a dream and they regged you. That's right. That's right, 33. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right, guys. Zek? Yeah, we can look at Zek. Ooh. Man, we've had some nice calls on this. Had some really nice calls on this. We had the SFP down here. We had the JPOW pattern right here. This demand failed. We've had the retest of previous highs here, run up. Yeah, Zek has been performing amazingly. It's been amazing. So yeah, I can gladly talk about this. Clear skies, man. Clear skies. So yeah, so this is an example of a coin where the weekly is bullish, the daily is bullish, and the 4 hour is bullish. Right? Until this breaks, weak highs will continue to get broken, and we will continue to grind higher. Right? What did we do recently? So we had our 4 hour trend, we had our demand here. So yeah, this thing is just following its demand chain. That's exactly what it's doing, right? So you create an area of demand, you create a new high, you retest that demand, you go up, right? So you create an area of demand, you retest that demand, you go up. Break this high, and your 4 hour low comes back down to 366. So if we break above 450 on Zcash, if you're in a spot position, you've been trailing your stop loss up, you can move it from here to here, and your 366 is your new strong low. And yeah, I mean, looking at targets here, Man, I bet Joey wishes she was still holding her long from, what was she in at? Some ridiculous price. I think she got in like 130 on this SFP. I think Joey got stopped out by this wick. I think her stop was at like 160. That's super lame. Sorry, Joey. But yeah, she called this. She did. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's probably coming to 500 bucks. 500 bucks. Look at Arrow. All right. What did we say yesterday? Liquidity, 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 liquidity. We said that it was coming down. We had liquidity down here, and it's attacking that liquidity now. Why is it doing that? Because we retested supply, we rejected off of supply, and we came down. And so we had, what's this daily structure? Yeah, this is daily supply. Yeah, so we come to our daily supply high, and where do we reject down to? We reject down to demands. Yeah, Arrow, you still got to come above 120 to flip structure. So this is kind of what I was talking about happening with what were we just looking at? Was that a virtual? Or it was ICP, I think. Right? ICP comes up to its daily supply here. You get the break of structure. You come down, and you're just going to be attacking the liquidity from the way up. Still a lot more liquidity to attack at like 74 and at 68. So bear in mind, this is internal 4-hour structure. Oh no, I think, oh yeah, it is. But 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour was your active time frame up here. So your 1 hour high was sitting right here. Teach a man to fish, right? What happens, you come up here, you break the 1 hour structure, then you set a low, then you break that high into supply, then you come down, you break that 1 hour low. What happens after you break that 1 hour low? You retest the supply block here and you sell off aggressively. So your 1 hour is your active supply here. Where's your 1 hour structure? 1 hour structure. Whew. 1 hour structure is all the way up here. Yeah, I think you're coming back for this low. I think you're coming back for 83 cents. Until the 1 hour breaks bullish, you would expect this to just keep dumping. But yeah. Hype was also doing quite well, but pulling back at the moment. Take care, Beardy. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we can check out Hype. I swear I had Hype on here. Okay. Okay. Man, dude. These altcoin shorts are fucking easy, bro. Yeah, so yeah, let's talk about it. So, Hype. How did you know this was going to happen on Hype? Actually, that might be, no, it's not external structure. Okay. Or it's not internal structure. Yeah, so Hype had a 4 hour high here. What happens? You break that 4 hour high, you set a high, you set a low, you sweep that high, you break structure down, you dump. So Hype actually has the 4 hour as, okay, Hype actually has external 4 hour structure that's tradable. The problem, let's see, 3 hour. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to see a recovery on Hype, you got to break 42 bucks. You break 42 bucks, you can see maybe a run back up. You have a lot of liquidity. This is all liquidity. This is all liquidity here. If you break 42 bucks, then you can start to see a little bit of recovery on Hype. I like 36 bucks. Yeah, unless you break 42 bucks, just expect Hype to continue selling off. And Bitcoin continues its downward slide. This is why we wait for structure, right? You got your trend line traders here. Breakout to the moon. Comes back down. Yeah. The levels remain the same on Bitcoin. If you guys are showing up late, make sure you go back and watch the first 15 minutes. That's when we go over all the Bitcoin TA. It was pretty spicy today, so make sure you check it out. I think we got through all of the requests here. Let's see. Been live about an hour. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate each and one of you guys being here. Make sure you join the free Discord pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like the stream. As always, my name is Market Cipher. Trade safe. Much love. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.